So let's start with then with those lovely games that you just mentioned. Let me find the chat. Have I started sharing screens yet? No.
Not yet.
No, blindfold lesson today. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm assuming we are white here.
Yep.
Okay, and our opponent. Oh, so the ratings are unknown, so we don't know their actual strength.
This is a guy that I played in the tournament in Seattle. This is a guy beat.
Oh, that's right, and this is actually the same variation. So now we know that we need to play here castles instead of h4, which you did do, very good. Oh, brilliant. So we are basically beating the guy. Oh, no. We played g5. That's not what we agreed on, Domenic, is it?
I couldn't remember what we agreed on here.
Really? Not even now looking at it? Because we had this literally last week.
Yeah, no, I can't
Okay,
recall.
so let's face it. There is a massive tension in the center. e4 is hanging.
Yep.
We need to deal with that. And our way of dealing with it is that we take this, and after knight takes, we play knight f4. And I did tell you that the idea behind this whole concept is that although strategically it's a massive defeat from white's point of view because we lost our bishop for a knight, and also they got to play d5, which in the Sicilian tends to be very good for black. But now there is tremendous pressure on e6, along with the d5 pin,
right.
And this is a way how we can actually exploit this development advantage that inevitably we are going to sack on e6 now and just try to crack it open onto this king here.
Okay, it's coming
I'm
back.
pretty sure that
Sorry.
now that you are looking at it, you go like, yup, we did talk about this. Because if you play g5, it seems to ignore a fair bit of what's happening on the board. Okay, this is not too bad, but this is definitely not the way how I wanted it to go. One move that would worry me now if I was white would be this. Because not only does it step out of the pin, but it actually is knocking on the door down here, as well as down here.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a tad bit awkward because after, for example, king b1 takes here, you also have to be aware of the fact that this is on. Yeah. Now, white has got tactical resources too, so it's always fun to analyze positions like this because after bishop takes, knight takes is losing on the spot because of knight c6 hanging the queen and threatening mate. That is unstoppable, so even if the queen moves, it's mate.
Yep.
But at the same time, after g takes f6, black is totally fine here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, e takes d. I remember.
Yeah, so e takes d and knight f4. And smack.
Yep.
Smack, smack, smack. Bishop e7 is way too timid. It allows knight c6. It's just, yeah, the move that is destined to fail. And it did. Whoa! Okay, I thought he would take back with the queen at least. So he blundered queen takes d7 too.
Yep.
Well, it was a good attack, Domenic, but yeah, well, this is the ultimate way to not to remember your openings, that you still win a game with it in 18 moves. But it wouldn't have happened against someone stronger than this guy. So we need to be mindful of that. Okay, let's have a look at the second link. Was still a good attack. I will definitely give that to you. And this is why we are playing this whole system. So I want you to have victories like this so that we have the fun. I did look at this game before, by the way.
Okay.
I did look at this line before with the computer, and I do recall that there is a pawn sack here.
Yep. And bishop e7. d7, sorry. That's a line.
Yeah, I do recall that I have seen this before, so I'm quite happy with how this is going. e4, when I saw this, I'm like, is this guy for real? Okay, so he completely lost the plot here. And consequently, he's dead. Oh, knight e5. You know what I was looking at here, Domenic? Isn't this the easiest way to do the home run?
Oh, that looks nice. I didn't see that.
Yeah, and when you say you didn't see it, it makes me a little bit sad because this is not check,
Yeah.
is it? This
No.
is a capture and check. You had no
Yeah.
right to look at other moves than this and this on first two moves, given that you were
Sure.
looking for
Yeah.
kills. But the
Yeah.
fact that you went there tells me you were looking for kills.
Yeah. I missed queen takes knight. Not good.
Yeah, this is a very simple and basic way to win. Not to say that this doesn't win, but you know, it would have been well. Sorry, I take it back. This was more winner probably than mine because he just resigned here right away. Yeah,
I think I'm a piece up regardless.
yeah, you are winning here big time. But Queen takes b5 was a cutie that we should have used. And last, but not at least, so these seem to be three very easy, cruisy victories. Okay, Queen A4. Whoa. I'm pretty sure that we're meant to go somewhere else rather than d7 because they didn't just step into this really, really hardcore. So Queen d7, knight f3, yeah, bishop d6 was forced. Okay. We may be able to live with this. But yeah, I would have preferred not to put this many dudes in the pin because imagine if you had gone to c7, then after castles
Yep.
this problem is solved forever. Whereas now we are still in
Yep.
a bit of an awkward spot. All good
Yep.
now. Okay, no tactics apparently. Rook b8. Interesting. My number one instinct tells me to play e5.
Okay.
Because, as you know, I'm a central addict.
Yep.
And I'm trying to make you one too. I'm also confused why this rook went to b8, by the way. Because I can see these two as the avenues for the rooks. I'm not seeing how you will benefit ever from leaving this rook on a8.
I wondered if there was some time later on where I'd move my queen away from its spot and need to have a6 protected. But that's kind of weird.
That is very weird because tell me please where the queen is supposed to go.
It's quite good where it is, right?
Yeah, for starters.
Yep.
Plus, it's not really attackable, so yeah, there are lots of problems with that argument. But yeah, let's just roll with it. Okay. I thought that this was winning. What am I missing here? Here. Is there some tactics here that I'm not seeing clearly? 94.
Can you go back to queen a3?
Queen a3, and then I can't move this rook somewhere where it hurts? Maybe not. Okay.
I was looking at that. I was trying to trap his queen.
I find it difficult to believe that this is playable.
Mm.
So bishop here now.
Yeah, it looks good.
So now I'm threatening take followed by rook check. Or actually even better, takes rook h4. With the mate down there and the queen is hanging. I don't know. Bishop a3 is, yeah, is doing damage too, so let's just go with that for the time being. Knight c6. Time to harvest, good. Good.
That's just setting up a cheap trick. Well, I don't know if it's cheap or not, but it's setting up a trick.
Okay, I don't know. I was looking at bishop b4. Oh god. Okay, you won the cheap champion title. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't call it cheap because this can be easily part of a different regroup. And so, no, I like it. It's cheeky. It's very cheeky, but it's not cheap. No, that was good
Mm.
effort actually. I like this game. This was good.
Okay, thanks.
I did have a look at the French that you sent me. And since I tend to agree with the vast majority of the things that you said in there, I'm not going to have a look at it today. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we agreed on. Never ever do this, please. You are a player, Dominic, who plays this line with both sides, yeah? So we should know for both colors that the way how this plays out is that white's best piece is this and black's worst is this. And I don't even think I really need to go into the whys here, do I?
Yep.
So what on earth would make you swap this off? I know what on earth made you swap it off, because we also tend to live by the rules of we like to swap knights for bishops. Except when it's a knight like this, where it's just a bishop like that.
Yeah.
Like, you so religiously want to avoid, Dominic, this bishop being swapped off, that when they replay c3, castles, knight c2, rook b8, say, which is basically designed to prevent a4. I really don't want to go very deeply into the theory of this line. When bishop e2, bishop g5 happens, I'm no longer happy to play knight e3. Because I don't want to allow that swap. Because my ultimate winning scenario in this line is if I get to swap off everything, like let's say this bishop for that knight for that knight, and I am left with this knight versus that bishop. That's my best chance to win this. So that went out of the window really, really hardcore when you eliminated the bishop on f6.
I think the reason I took on bishop f6 is because I realized I'd made a mistake on move 9.
Right.
And I just lost it.
Fair enough. Okay, and yeah, it's not looking good now at all. Queen e2.
Maybe f3 here. I don't know. It doesn't look
Much
good.
rather, yeah. And yeah, castling there is brave. Brave is the word I'm going to use. Why are we not taking this?
I thought it just developed his army too quickly.
That is true, but it also develops our army too quickly, because unlike in the previous scenario, in this case you would love to take this bishop for that knight. Which means that this bishop needs to move, which meant that they developed one piece with the tempo, we developed ours with the tempo. And you can now castle 2 and finally regain control of the d5 square. Not that it really matters in this scenario, but rather than losing a pawn.
Okay.
I mean, probably you didn't lose a pawn here because the queen d5 check is pending too. What?
I think you just missed it.
Wow. And then how the heck did it turn out to be a draw?
You'll see.
Well, I would rather not.
I missed a good move later on. I ran move 30. I had like a completely winning move, and instead I swapped my bishop off for a pawn, 2 pawns.
Man. That is a bit disappointing that this didn't go our way.
Yep.
I'm a bit confuzzled about this, because if you want to go to d5, why wouldn't you go this way? Which happens to attack that, and still coming in. Okay.
Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't sure that it was going to d5 at that point.
So where is it going then?
I was more focused on what I'm gonna do with my bishop. And I thought that putting it on e3 also covers g2 to allow for the bishop to develop.
Yeah, that is a valid point. Although again, if it comes to the bishop's development, I would like to develop it to 2 squares. One of them is this, which means I want to eliminate both of these. The other one is this, which means g3 bishop h3.
Yeah.
But okay, let's move on. I mean, let's face it. He has got 2 pawns. It should be winnable. Although d4 is annoyingly pending. We have to give them that. Yeah, I didn't like knight e3, but this still should be a-okay. Okay, so King d2.
That was because of d4.
Yeah, so what we need to ask from ourselves now is that how much of a threat is d4? So for example, can I just step out of it? Because if it forces rook e8, then it's a no-brainer. Yeah?
Yep.
So let's have a look at d4. I take.
Yep.
They take. Chook takes. Takes. Thank you. We're going with knight g4.
Yeah. He has nothing better, right?
Well, that was my train of thought, Dominic, that he either plays d4 or he guards that. To say that he has nothing else is very naive. That's not the truth, because he has got bishop b3 and probably other moves too. But these were the first two I looked at because they were the first two that seemed most logical.
Yep.
Now bishop b3 could be a massive fly in the ointment, but not really actually, because after rook d2, d4, it's still a very similar variation. The only difference is that now they have a check down on d1, but then I get out here with the tempo, and I will be able to get out of... Ooh, yeah. Oh, actually, I will play that out to you because there is a cute tactical trick there. So after d4 takes, check, check, takes, and rook d1 here, they in fact have to be careful here, because if the bishop goes back here to cover... Oh, no, never mind. Okay, so now, sorry, I thought I will have a check, but obviously if the bishop drops back on the diagonal, somewhere semi-sensible, then I will not have a check. Sorry?
And then just g3.
Well, you have to be careful with g3 because of e3, but knight g4 and dropping the bishop knight back to e3 now is a brilliant square for the knight, and it happens to cover the bishop, white wins. So yes, the more we look at Domenic, the more obvious it becomes that knight g4 needed to be played. King d2, to my mind, does not avoid the problem, it goes into it. Like, this is the ultimate move that I would look at like, what the heck are you doing? Like, two rooks firing down onto you. They had just said wanted to play d4 and now you're putting your king into it. Looks iffy. So does this, by the way. So what was the go with d4?
I think I can just take.
And if rook takes king e2...
I was actually thinking e1.
Okay, so he will take back. Knight g4. e3 check is even possible. Mind you, I have to be careful about how far I extend myself. But yeah, this seems to me like we are dodging bullets. And I'm not happy about that. Okay, rook b8. Now this seems to be again like you sort of regained your composure. I don't want to be a show-off, Dominic. And I don't want to look like I'm trying to prove you what a tactical genius I am. But in this position, the first thing I'm looking at is sacks here. They don't work.
Okay.
And the number 2 move is this.
Oh, nice.
And the more I look at it, the more I think that I am a genius. Yeah, of course, I do too. Because this pin is a bit of a standout. This pawn is their soft point, so if you can pressure that, then we are legends.
Yeah,
nice so this would have been actually, it would have wrapped up immediately. It's quite cool. I'm proud of myself for finding that. Yeah, that doesn't seem to address the problems, does it?
The reason for h4 is to just get my rook into the game with h3 or something like that.
But that doesn't bring your rook into the game. Not the way how I want this rook to be participating in the game anyway. I would much rather have castle than if we could. Well, have we played something illegal already?
We've already made
that makes my genius statement about myself a little bit dubious now, doesn't it? Yeah, I thought that we may have moved this dude before.
What I wanted to do here was play rook d2, but after rook b1 and then knight to d1, then he's got bishop b3. So I
Okay,
couldn't do that.
so, but then again, we have to go back to our original thought, Dominic, that okay, we can't castle, that sucks, situation has become desperate. Well, that's a desperate measure. Bishop c4 was a different desperate measure. He's trying very hard to mess this up. Really, really hard. I don't understand how this game ended in a draw.
You'll see. Here I need to play rook e3.
I don't think, Dominic, that you have got a move here that is not winning on the spot.
Rook e3. I played a move that loses here.
Sorry?
I played a move that just throws away my advantage.
Well, you took here. I mean, really? How did this even come up as a possible candidate move, Dominic? That really does puzzle me, because let's just say you don't see this.
Yep.
I'm totally fine with that. What I'm seeing, Dominic, here is an enormous panic. What are they even threatening with?
Yeah,
so why is this need to do something very clearly self-harming?
I thought that his passed pawn close to my king like that was worth quite a bit, and maybe more than what it actually was. So I thought it was a good trade for me. I was clearly wrong.
Very clearly. I mean, Dominic, let's face it. What you're trying to argue is that you are a piece up, your opponent has a pawn, they are of equal value.
Well, I get 2 pawns, so I thought...
That is correct, but yeah. But clearly this pawn doesn't bother you, so if this wasn't on the board, then yeah, you get my argument. You didn't take on here because of the 2 pawns.
I was careless because I didn't use any time on this move either. I should have just spent a couple of seconds and I would have seen rook e3.
But what the point I'm trying to make, Dominic, is that any move that doesn't blunder a piece or a rook here wins the game for you. So I don't understand this mad desire to make a decisive move here. Bishop here. How is this not winning? Check takes.
That's another way.
I mean, okay, maybe he has got some rook f8 things, and after check king h6, I have to be a bit careful because this is hanging.
Yep.
Then again, I can just, probably play f3 or something. You don't need to do anything here to win other than just b. But of course, and again, rook e3 is the ultimate win. For sure. But probably there were many others available. Yeah, this is not looking as good as it should have been. Okay, was it a realistic attempt to win, to let this one go for this? Because you know that when it comes to endgames, but especially rook endings, Dominic, activity, the relative activity of the pieces is everything. And if I look at this and I compare that rook to that rook, I'm already opening a champagne.
Yeah.
So now your 2 rooks dominate the living heck out of mine. And the main point of this setup is that I can never come down to hit this because you take this and you guard your own. Which makes this quite splendid. And this rook is basically a disaster. Now, I'm not saying that they would have had to take on here, but this definitely does set up a threat. And it's actually not, it's impossible to guard this because rook e8, rook here just makes matters worse. Because whilst with 4 rooks it's still open, if I swap a pair of rooks there and you're stuck with that h5 rook, you're dead. So that would have been a better way, but what I'm afraid of is that when you play g4, you didn't see this.
Exactly.
And now you have got no chance to win this at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a pity.
Yeah.
Wow. He came up with that move. That's interesting. Yeah, there were several massive hiccups in that game. Was it right, this one?
That was the one you just
Yeah,
looked
that
at.
was the French you sent me. We're going
Yep.
to give that one a miss.
Okay.
I tend to prefer... I don't know. Do we need to take this or do we just play Queen E7?
Yeah.
Because see, the point, Dominic, is that often when they play E4, you want to respond with E5, right? Now, in that structure, so for the argument's sake, this now is a potential target square. It's a bit far-fetched, but you get my point. Yeah?
Yep.
Now, if you compare that to let them take, instead of you take them, so let's say after they come here, take, and then E4, then after E5, we took care of that. Whereas if they don't take you on G6, but they do play E4 right away, then you will always have the option to revitalize this bishop on this diagonal potentially right now. Because this actually now seems to me that we are transposing it to the main line with the insertion of rook here and queen here. And let me just think for a second whom it should favor. Hard to tell, because normally this queen likes to come out here. And the rook is actually not necessarily misplaced on rook on d1. So yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking that, and I'm not sure. What I'm trying to say is I'm not sure that this take was necessary. In fact, now that I'm looking at it, could we have played here? With the idea of e5 pending? Potentially. Okay, let's move on. I would have to look up in the file this one. Okay, isn't knight c5 like winning on the spot here, or am I smoking something? So take, that's my next two.
Yeah, I completely missed this.
So queen c4 takes, knight e4, bishop a3, c5, maybe d6. Okay, this is still messy. Okay, so maybe we have to do some fine tuning here. So knight c5, queen c4, take. This pin is why this whole thing is a bit iffy. Yeah, maybe I was a bit too pessimistic. I just dropped back here. But then again, d7 I can't take because this is hanging. Yeah, it's a bit messy. A bit more messy than what I like it to be. Which takes me to point number 2. Can we put one of our rooks now on d8? Because that looks very juicy to me. And this one actually renews the threat of take knight c5, knight e4. Because now the rook is not going to be in the pin.
Yeah, there's no hurry to take on d5, is there? He's not going to look to play d6.
Correct. I'm pretty sure that you might have a chess coach talking to you about tension, release, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, there was no hurry to do this. Like, you basically did it in a far inferior way than what it could have been. Okay, what makes you go there instead of here?
Because I'm worried about rook d4.
That's a fair call. Which then raises the next question.
Yep.
Hmm. Maybe bishop c5?
Yeah, actually, I thought about that.
Because I thought when I first looked at it, I didn't even realize this was on. I thought that you just wanted to move your rook and you didn't like the pawn being on.
Yeah,
But now that I just realized that we're playing chess and I'm allowed to use tactics, I realized that. So let's just drop the bishop back to c5. Swap it off. Happy days. Please note how after takes you just managed to deny entry while
yeah,
sitting pawns. So that looks good.
it does look nice.
Yeah. Whereas now I'm really worried.
Yeah, he's come in.
Isn't this hanging for free?
Yeah, but I didn't want to spend.
I agree, by the way. Like, it's probably not guardable. What I would argue is that can we just go for at least bishop versus knight with an f2 target?
Yeah, that's a better idea.
Yeah, so takes rook b7 and go somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, there is not really a good square because you would want to be down here right now. And I'm not speaking about mate, but rook e1, king f1, rook e8, king f1 is awkward, and rook d8 is not threatening with that, which is what we want to do. But even so, look at this. Check here, here, threatening bishop b4. And all of a sudden you might be better. Let alone avoiding losing.
Yeah, knight d2 here would still kick my rook away, but
Yeah,
I
but
think this is a better line.
yeah, the point is that you get to swing, because then you swing the rook back here, then you will play bishop b4. All of a sudden you are active like crazy.
Yep.
I don't understand what's happening here. Isn't this just hanging for free now?
Yeah, it is. I missed it. Not only this move, but a bunch of moves.
And then, like, what the heck?
Well, I don't have any time, that's one thing.
I very strongly disagree with that. You have got 17 seconds.
Yep.
Oopsies.
Yeah, I know.
Oopsies. Okay, this was torture in the end because you were short on time. But yeah, this was... not quite as good as I would have liked it to be. Bishop d3 is our line here, Domenic. Which I'm really hoping I did send you.
I don't know that I have this one.
The idea is that you play knight e2 here covering queen c3. And you let them basically take your center in return for the two side pawns. Because what you are hoping to do is to push this one in before this pawn avalanche in the center is affecting you. And with the two bishops coming down in there and there, it's quite a realistic scenario. Queen takes g7 is what is known to be the bestest main line, but it's ridiculously theoretical. And this is definitely a no-go. So in this position you need to play knight e2. This is theory. Like,
I looked it up afterwards. You can see in the chart I wrote 10 mate. Okay, so I need to play 8 bishop d3.
Well, as I said, there is nothing wrong with queen g7. It's just that the amount of theory you need to know there is mind-boggling. Wow, this is beautiful. So after queen here, they have got take and then knight g3. Okay.
Yeah, I was really worried about tactics.
Yes, they are there. That's the whole idea in the system. This looks very pale. Why wouldn't they play rook g8, renewing that? Oh, because of queen c3 takes, rook takes is check. Fair enough. Okay, never mind. Never mind. It's easy, Domenic. You just play g4 and we win. Yeah, absolutely. Are you worried about your king?
Not
No,
right
okay. Are you worried about your king now? No, good. Okay, I like that. Check. Still not worried?
Queen G1.
Yep, that's it. Honey, I'm having a lesson, so
Good.
you need to leave me now. Sorry. Yeah, that's what I was getting at, but this looks like a disaster, actually, because after knight c5, you're dead. Like, we just fell apart here in a spectacular fashion.
Okay.
So...
Yeah, G4. G4, I didn't...
Yeah. They do play it every now and then in this line, but... Yeah. Not quite. My only concern is that we might be totally dead anyway. Whoa! Am I missing something here, or it's just that bad that you went desperate? You should have taken this, by the way. I mean, I know that you don't want to develop your opponent's pieces, but instead we developed his pawn into winning a rook. So that was not much better either. Wow! That was their move.
Yeah, and then a resignation straight after. Yeah, I got let off the hook here.
Just an incy bit.
Yep.
So literally every legal move wins for black, right?
Yeah, I'm dead in the water.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know, every now and then you get rewarded for the fighting spirit. Which is something I do like. Again, this bishop g5 nonsense. Weird.
Yeah, and I remember we've talked about it before, and I couldn't remember if I was supposed to play knight e4 or not.
I don't know, my gut instinct is queen a5. Threatening knight e4 then. And at the same time denying e4 as a result of the pin. That's what I would do here for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
But this one looks decent-ish. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this is not necessarily going the way I wanted it to go. So are you telling me that we're not dead here if he plays something like this?
He did play that.
96, that's good. And what? And I on 95 you also wanted to play 96?
Yeah, I had 96 in my mind to just yeah.
You kind of have to actually. Yeah, it's very epic that you have that. I'm pretty certain that this is looking very ugly for you. And I'm trying to find a way to punish you for playing like this.
Yep.
But I'm not seeing one yet.
Yeah, bishop g5 happens frequently enough, so I'll try to remember queen a5.
Well, it happens in your games, but no offense.
Yep.
Okay, so how about g4? So you can't take because the bishop takes f7, or in fact even knight e5, because I like to show off, as you know. Except it doesn't work because of queen a5 check, so show off got defeated. Now I just take and then knight e5 and that wins. So this is really bad on account of knight e5.
Yeah.
And so bishop h7 is only, but I'm still struggling with refuting this one. It's incredible that you get away with this. You shouldn't be. Honey, I'm pretty sure I just told you a second ago that I'm having a lesson.
Where do seeds come from?
We'll discuss science, honey, after my lessons, okay? Love you. The other day she asked me something that I had to think about for half an hour to figure out what it was.
Did she just ask you what feet?
No, with seeds, because she's eating like almonds and sunflower kernel seeds and that thing, and she's asking me where they are coming from.
Nice.
Yeah, but the other day we went into where does electricity come from. That went on to nuclear power plants, and then where does the nuclear power plant get the electricity? And yeah, she defeated me there very badly there. Right, so yeah, it feels very dodgy, Dominic, because you keep on playing moves with pieces that have been developed already, and these dudes are
Yep.
staying at home. So let's just leave it at that it shouldn't have happened.
Yep. Okay.
It was very resourceful the way how you defeated it or refuted it. Yeah, I'm a bit reluctant to allow e4, but I'm also very keen on taking the bishop before it runs away. Okay, let's go. Whoa. Full on fight, the way we like it.
Although I think I come out worse, yeah.
I was thinking whether it was a good idea to insert this. Because then the knight can't sack. The idea is that if they take on f6, then you play g5. And now if takes, obviously is horrid because you take. If takes, this is horrid, like queen d6 wins on the spot for you. And so most likely... actually, I don't even know how to finish this sentence. Oh yeah, they will just drop back. In which case you can choose to keep the bishop, or you can play bishop d5, which is perhaps best, and knight d5, queen d5 should grant you a better position.
Okay.
But this way you could have avoided the piece sack.
Yep.
Which definitely is a bit of a pain in the backside. So he didn't take for the second time. He dropped back. Bishop g7. Whoa. Are we just dodging this?
Yeah, that was one idea. Would you mind turning the
Oh,
board
sorry.
back?
I don't like the black position, so that's why I'm turning it around. No, I'm kidding you. No, sorry. Not at all. It's just I forgot about turning it back. I tell you what I don't understand here, Dominic. You have a king stuck in the middle, yeah? It's not going here, is it? It's not gonna leave here long either, is it? So why don't we create a very subtle mate in one thread followed by castling here? And then bringing the other rook to the h file, and then all of a sudden all of your pieces, with the exception of the f6 bishop, is in the attack like a madman. So once again, queen here, h3. I don't know if h3 is a move or not, by the way, but let's just play along. I think that bishop takes h3 is almost auto win here. Because after takes, rook takes, they don't have pawn f4 because that's hanging. They might get away with this, but frankly I don't think so. But the point I'm trying to make is h3, okay, a castle. And my next move is gonna be take followed by check followed by mate.
Actually, one of the reasons I moved my bishop back to g7 was so that my queen could have some scope for an attack on h4.
Which is fair. To some extent. Although I don't really like to attack from this angle because the simple bishop f4 is gonna cover everything. Yeah. So let's just say he bishop f4. I'm not sure, Dominic, if I like the look of this thing. In fact, I am 100% sure. You've got nothing here. Versus this, where I'm literally on your throat next.
Yep.
And this, like, compared to aesthetically, like you played an ugly back move, I connected rooks, castle, finished development, put everybody into the game. By default, this has to be the way to go. Not because I said it, but because it looks so much better.
I think I looked at this. I'm not sure. If Queen C7, does he have Knight B5? No, it's checkmate. Okay, sorry.
Yep. Yeah. No. No, it doesn't. Queen A5.
Yep.
Good. B4. Wow. Like you couldn't have made it more obvious that we were going there.
Yeah. Yep.
He didn't seem to care. I hate to be greedy, Dominic. Really, really hardcore. You know me. But do you have a mate here?
Yep.
I really hope you do. Actually, this is how the game went. Okay, I'm being an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, knight g2 and then queen h3 and then that's mate. Yeah.
I looked at this first of all without a computer, then with a computer, and the computer spotted a nice mate. Instead of when my queen was stuck on a5.
Oh, you mean this one?
Yeah. And I thought, I wish I'd seen that.
Yeah, I wish too, but whatever. At least I'm glad that you saw the rook h4, which, yeah, I didn't for ridiculous reasons. Okay, so yeah, knight g2, queen h3 would have been the ultimate finish.
Yep.
But yeah, that's a bit sad because I was already looking out here for rook takes h2 motifs, but I couldn't find one that would have worked. Yeah, this was a very shaky opening though.
Yep.
Okay, this is the only Sicilian, Dominic, where you can't play d4.
Yep.
So what you need to do is to play either c3 or c4. They are both totally fine.
I've got a file on this.
Okay, then let's not cause any damage.
Yeah, I'll look it up later.
3-8, that's a weird time control.
Yeah.
Alright, this is destined to be really, really bad. I don't know if I would take first or queen b3, right? What do they do if we play queen b3?
Yeah, just when you pawn on it, after something like queen b6 and then pawn. Yeah.
Probably, yeah, just as good here. Although, sorry, no, to be fair, probably takes queen b3 would have been way better here, because now queen b6 is met by knight d5. And then when they take your queen, you take that with a check.
Ah, okay.
Okay, I don't like this move, I think. I need to think. Yeah, probably we'll have to accept the fact that things didn't go your way. Did we have this check? Because the thing is that he blocked this bishop out here, which means that if we can build up a pin on this diagonal, this bishop can't participate. So for example, knight c6, c5, and if the queen were to drop back, then after bishop b5 with the subsequent knight e5, or even bishop f4, out of nothing we built a massive attack. For example, bishop e7, bishop f4 wins on the spot. Or, well, doesn't win on the spot, but this is a massive blow. Because queen takes, bishop takes c6 wins for you. Yeah, so probably they need to go here. But even then, after... No, actually, that's probably even worse. After c5, knight e5, bishop b5, these pieces are just flooding in. Yeah, I reckon after queen check, the best they can do is knight c6, c5, and then queen a5 perhaps. But even then, after takes, bishop check followed by knight e5, there's no doubt about who is the winner of the opening battle.
Yep.
So, yeah. This is just an ultimate reminder, Dominic, that when you're out of book, it's time to slow down and try to connect dots because, yeah, it's tough gig. Whoa, okay. So why don't we take this with the queen, avoiding queen swap, given that he is heading for this disastrous structure.
Yeah, that looks sensible.
It looks sensational, is what the word is that you are after. Like, this pawn structure is a disaster.
Yep. I think I was too worried about my pawn and trying to.
Which pawn?
I wanted to have my pawn on c3 protecting d4.
Why?
Nicer pawn.
I totally disagree with that. This is a way inferior pawn structure than this. So let's clarify this. Okay, if they take on there, that's fine. But for the argument's sake, so if something like this arises, this is a weak pawn. This is a backward pawn. Your only way to get out of it is to push it forward. In which case, after takes, you still have a hanging pawn structure, which is still not the ultimate pawn structure to have in an endgame. Now compare that to you having this pawn back here and that back here. You have no weaknesses.
Yep, I didn't see that far, obviously.
Well, see, these two are never going to be a good pawn structure. As far as if we are purely talking about them becoming potential weaknesses, this is always rubbish. Now, they are totally acceptable in middle game scenarios when there are a million other aspects to be considered, like center, piece development, potential attacks, whatnot. But if you just want to argue that which way are your pawns safer, this is never gonna be your answer. Because you essentially put a pawn on an open file that is not protected by any other pawn. That's as simple as that. Now, having said that, because of the captures that took place, this is a very sturdy mass of pawns. That is impossible that they would be hurt. Now, I probably would have not done this though. I much rather would have preferred to see king d2, bishop d3 development first and then do something with the pawn structure. Or alternatively push it in right away and push these dudes up.
Okay.
But this makes sense too because these two are now horrid. So this may turn out to be quite okay too. Whoa, I like that move. That was a good job, Domenic. Fancy. So he needed to drop back here.
Yep.
And this probably would have cast some doubt about how much advantage we had here, but our opponents are not perfect. As are we not. That's quite neat endgame technique until that point when you put the knight on an e5, stepping into king f6.
Yeah.
That was a very, very sad move.
Yep.
So let's clarify what needed to be done. You could have played here knight d4 with the intention of playing f4, fixing this weakness on white. Probably my number one candidate. If king f6, you just come here. And still f5, sorry, f4. And remember, this is where your pawns are, by the way, in majority. So having a queen here is not a bad plan.
Yep.
I just want to avoid a scenario where we play d6 because then knight can get out there. If we possibly can, because I want to paralyze the whole entire army.
Yep.
By the way, wasn't d6 legit here? Because as much as I said I would like to avoid it, but hey, rather than that swapping this most amazing stallion for this overgrown pawn. Like, this is still totally resignable.
Yep.
So that was a shocker of a move. And you're still totally winning here. Whoa, that is super random. Are you worried about anything here?
And giving his rook way too much counterplay.
Yeah, but I don't understand why. Like, what is he trying to do? This is always, Domenic, my ultimate way of thinking. When I have got a rook that dominates half of my opponent's pieces. Their knight can't move. Their rook can't move because the knight can't move. So what exactly are they doing? What is it that I'm afraid of here?
Nothing.
So then why would you play a move like this that screams to me panic and the desire to do something when you very clearly don't need to do a single thing?
Yeah, the only reason I played this is because I thought that my passed D pawn will be really strong.
It is very strong right now.
Yeah. Right now. Yeah.
Are you telling me that you wanted to swap this off for this? On the premise that that will make a D pawn stronger?
It's not a good one.
It's not really a good argument, is it?
Yeah.
And I think the other reason why you did that is because you had 50 seconds left. But let me show you something, Domenic. Do you know what my number one plan would be here as white? This.
Okay.
And do you know what I have to say along this? Good luck stopping it.
Hmm.
I'm not in a hurry. I can't see what they can do. I'm improving the position of my pieces bit by bit. That's what endgames are about.
Yep.
And because of I'm a fairly cash dude, I quite like sitting here admiring the beauty of my position. Can't move, can move, but useless. Good luck with moving the pawns around.
Hmm.
I love watching my opponents suffering in positions like this. This,
Yeah.
Domenic, should be a source of joy to have a position like this. And I do mean it, not in a sadistic sense of the meaning of it, but simply this is what you play chess for. When your position is just simply picture perfect. This is a moment to cherish, not a moment when you need to panic. I couldn't have enjoyed more this style. Like, imagine this. Like, what an amazing plan that is to win a night. Yeah, and compare that to this. Like, where are you doing, dude? Where are you going? Yeah, like I'd seriously think you're risking a loss here.
Yep.
Although according to your computer, F3 was even better. Something must have... Oh, yeah, he missed C6 and so did you.
Yep.
So actually there was credit to your thinking here, except that it's not this pawn, it's this pawn that appears to be mighty strong.
Hmm.
Yeah. That was a pity. Also here.
Yep.
And now we are decidedly worse.
Yeah.
The classic rook first place in front of the pawn scenario.
Yep.
Yeah, right, whatever. Interesting stuff there.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, man. Wait a second. Did I just get ahead of myself a bit too? Because there are a few games here that I wanted to discuss with you. Because I did check them out. What? A3. Wow. Knight takes. How did this come about? Isn't like this legal? Center?
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't like this.
Okay, that is super weird. Okay, that's... I'm lost for words there, but your position is so brilliant that it doesn't even matter. It totally doesn't matter. I probably... I'm thinking whether we should have taken this or not. And I'm thinking it's a yes, we should have. Takes. And queen takes. And then bishop f6 followed by e4. Because this is very difficult to develop. And e4 is going to gain further space for you.
Okay.
Queen d4, I don't get this.
It's attacking the c pawn. Oh no, it's not. No, it's
Well,
not.
I suppose it's sort of pinning that pawn so that b something followed by bishop b2 is not possible.
Yep.
And on some
And
funny
also,
days, you're going to sack your queen, followed by bishop c5, scoring some epic checkmates. But you would need another white bishop on f1, not this one, a different one like this guy here, to make that work. That would be super spectacular.
it does make room for one of the rooks to come into d8.
Yeah, it does. Inevitably. So what do you do if I do something semi-sensible like this? You take on d1 and then you wanted to pinch this? That looks very dodgy. Yeah, what do you do after knight f3?
Yeah, queen takes, knight takes bishop, and then pawn takes bishop.
And how about this? Are we going from clearly better to significantly worse?
Yikes. Okay.
Yeah, this just doesn't look natural.
It's too much too
It
early.
really... It's not only that it's early, but it's just an odd-looking move that... Like, I always try to think in classical terms, like... When have I seen the last 15 world champions to ever pull off a move like this in a similar scenario being good? Because to me, the most natural move in this position, if it's not to take, then it's e4. So that I can further improve my pieces.
Okay.
And exerting pressure. This seems to be just a random thrust. And as per pointed out by predominantly you, it's not even threatening with anything.
Yep.
Okay, so this way it did work like a magic charm. Could we have played this? And the reason, by the way, why we are bringing this rook now, because I want to counter b4 with a5.
Yeah, I like that.
Maybe. Okay. I just didn't like seeing this bishop go. Because this is our good bishop and this is a really junky one at the moment. Also, can we just take and again be the aggressor? And very rapido come in here. That looks to me like chess, yeah? And it's actually quite difficult to guard this. It's bordering on the impossible. Like if rook c2 is the best I can do, then this is a no-brainer. And then just run and be happy. This to me looks like a very clumsy move. Because this rook went from a useless square to another totally useless square. So we're not making any progress.
I remember what I was worried about. I was worried about bishop takes, rook takes, and then I'm seeing things. I was worried about him doubling on the c file, but of course my bishop just protects that pawn on c6.
Yep. Plus I don't see how this stopped the doubling of the c file.
Yeah, doubling the c file is just irrelevant.
Yep. It doesn't exist. You need to be aware of these. Which I don't think you were. Whoa. This not hanging?
It is.
Oh, as well as that. Yeah, this looks to me like we really messed this endgame up, Domenic. Very, very hardcore. Like from crystal clear pawn up to total struggle fest. What was the goal against this?
Yeah, it doesn't look nice.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was not good.
I think this guy had many chances to beat me here. Remember, he's got tactics here.
Oh man, like really king d6 and then he's not doing this. Although having said that, it actually, I'm not sure if this works. So that actually is not good, for the record.
Oh, magic. Okay, I didn't see that far. I thought that I was just losing.
Yeah, so that was actually not doable, but...
I gave it to him.
Oh man, Like, you really tried very hard, Domenic, to lose this, and you succeeded. I mean, you didn't lose it somehow in the end, miraculously. Beats me how. Why are we not going check here?
Yeah, that seems like the obvious move.
No brainer land again, yeah?
Yep.
This would come up on my horizon for sure. Because your objective, Domenic, is to eliminate as many pawns as possible. That's your only hope to draw it. And that's what we're doing now. Okay, this is a bit strange to me. Explain, please, why you're forcing this king to the center.
I don't have any logical explanation.
Like, why would you not just simply take this? Okay, this is very strange. Also, why wouldn't he take it with knight, check followed by rook takes, followed by rook takes, followed by...
Yeah.
This was a truly atrocious game. Wow. Yeah, this was not the highlight of the day by any stretch of the imagination. Was it... which one was I looking at? We've seen that, we've seen that. We've seen that. We haven't seen this, have we? I wanted to have a look at these three here.
Okay.
Because I think they were opening seed that we needed to discuss. I prefer to push it in because, as you might have heard me saying this, I'm a center maniac. And this conquers the center, Domenic, and this one gives it up. So you choose what you have, but you see my point.
Yep.
Okay, so if you had played his c6, not that I'm saying that you should have, that would have meant that we basically transposed into the main line Caracan in a very weird move order. Now c5, the way how you played it, is what I would call super and unrealistically ambitious. Because what are we going to do after d5?
Knight f6 maybe.
And if I just cement it in, not that I have to, like I've got a number of other options here, but it creates a bit of an awkward bind on you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, I've got a few other issues here too, but whoa! DC, and how about this check here?
You completely missed it.
Do you see, Domenic, that as soon as I saw this, it was like a lightning bolt?
Yep.
Like, this is how you should notice tactical patterns. That unguarded piece, check, bang. It didn't even land on c5 and I was on this case already. And it's not because of I'm that good. It's just because it's that simple. Like, this is, Domenic, why we are currently mucking around on this rating that you are on now instead of shooting up by a solid 200. It's these basic tactics. Because this is not hard stuff. And this is the difference between, yeah, see, black resigned instead of white resigned on move 6. By the way, I think it's only fair if I tell you this story right here, right now. When I was fighting for my very first international master norm, I had to win in the last round robin, and I had the following position. This was the opening, which is all theory. And in this position, of course, we need to take on d7, and I played queen e2.
Same tactic.
And I had to resign on move 10. As a 2350 rated player, playing for his first IM norm.
Ouch.
I ended up like, had I won this game, I would have got the IM norm. I played against a guy who was higher rated, and yeah, probably I wouldn't have won it. But yeah, like losing like this, you know, though, so better players than you can do it. But the point is not that. The point is that, yeah, you need to be on it fully.
Yep.
Because this is just too easy of a victory to not to win it. Okay,
Yep.
okay, okay, okay. Okie dokie, okie dokie. I don't think, Dominic, we have much to do on this diagonal, to be perfectly honest. I would have come home here. I'm controlling way more squares, way more important squares from here than here.
I totally agree.
Okay.
Can you put me to bed?
Soon. H5. Okay, I don't like, Dominic, that there is more and more pawns landing on white. This is not really ideal. My look at the pieces, yeah, because endgames are about improving pieces. Good, poo poo. Yeah, so that leaves us with these two to do something. Now, considering that the plan is f5, this is needed. So why don't we then improve the king and put it on e6? Funny that your center mania coach prefers to put pieces in the center. Yeah? Very basic stuff.
Yeah, I lost the plot here. This game here, I remember it went downhill really badly.
Yeah, I'm not with you with these moves. Like, I understand you want to go to g4, but I don't know why. What? Okay, that was a lost cause now, because of course rook here, knight here is not exactly what we wanted. Yeah, I mean, man, look at this. Going back.
Yep.
And no, oh, wow. I should give you a lot of hard time for this, Dominic. Look at your time consumption here.
Yep.
So G6 took you 9 seconds.
Yep.
Which is very, very sus. Rook E1, that took 11. Again, super sus. Like, literally, you should spend here half a minute on every single move until you have your crystal clear plan figured out, which you didn't. And then this in 10 seconds? That's not acceptable. And I think you very clearly got misled and fooled by the fact that he was playing fast too. Common error in amateur level that when your opponent plays fast, you tend to pick up their pace. It's not a race.
Yep.
You had a far better position, and then, oh my god, this in 2 seconds? What was next? King back and then bishop back? Yeah, I don't want to rub it in, Dominic, too hard, but you did everything for the sake of losing this game, and you succeeded. And I wanted to compliment you for this, although what happened here was not... No, it's not the one. Oh, it was not that one. There was another game where you sacked a piece in the opening. It was a Sicilian, and you ended up winning it. This one.
Yeah, maybe that one there.
Oh, it was a Scandinavian, actually. Sorry, I stand corrected. Yeah, this was very iffy. So let's have a look at what happened here. Yeah, that... I don't know where that came from. I really do like the attacking spirit, Dominic, but this is not real. And by the way, if you have a queen here, why wouldn't you pick up another beefy tempo on it?
I was planning on doing that, just maybe not right at that moment.
Okay, I tell you what my problem with that thinking is. If you go to knight e5, it's never going to work anymore because they can take here.
Yep.
Yeah, so that seems to me to be a little bit faulty. Mr.
Yep.
40. From 40 Towers. Yes, that's the one. Have you watched 40 Towers?
Yes, I used to watch it when I was a kid.
That is the best ever, right? So without 40 Towers. So here we are being a little bit Mr. 40.
Okay.
Manuel. Alright, so Queen H5 is my move here, my friend, because I love forcing this.
And then just queen back.
And then now if you drop back here, now Knight F6 can't stop the mate, so it has to be another very awkward move.
Okay.
You are allowed to do this with your queen when,
Yep.
and only when, you are fully developed. But let me show you, Dominic, something that you will really, really like. And we'll finish the lesson on that note. Okay? So instead of Knight F7, which, sorry to hurt your feelings, is total La La Land. Queen H5, G6. How is this? Takes, loses the rook. Oh, come on, dude. And takes, ta-da, loses the rook.
Ah, very nice. Yep.
That's the way to go forward. You chose a different plan, which was a little bit iffy.
Just a little
Yeah,
bit.
so this is a picture perfect scenario. What a genius your chess coach is. Alright, so yeah, the credit you're getting is for winning this. That was really good. The way how it was achieved was, yeah. Oh god. You got to love this guy with Queen B6. I mean, as long as I'm not losing this or not getting mated immediately, I'm guessing that you have nothing here. But then again, you played ballsy, you won the game, and I like that. Oh, and mate, like, look at that. Beautiful in-between check. And then a colossal mate is about to come here. Beauty. I wish it had been sound.
Yeah.
Different story. Remember this motif, Dominic, because this is a beauty. With queen up and then knight takes.
Yeah,
actually,
nice.
this is more frequently occurring without the bishop on the board in some Slav variations. So you have to be aware of it as black. I will try to eliminate the bishops now by doing some retarded stuff. So without the bishop, the motif looks a little bit different. Oh, and also without this knight. So now I will have to endeavor to swap these knights off. So your motif now looks like this. Queen h5, g6, knight takes g6, 5 exclamation marks, because I'm still a genius. Pawn takes, hit the rook. Only move is to move it here. And then queen e6 check wins the rook. Okay, so this is a stock standard motif in some Slav variations that we do play as black. So you need to be aware of this. Okay, so it's queen h5, g6, knight takes, pawn takes, wins the rook. And if they come here, queen e5 hitting the rook. Rook has to go there, chook. And GG.
Okay, thanks for showing me that.
Anytime. I think we were rather productive today. Which is good, and we've gone through a lot of your games, and most of them are going well, but yeah, we need to still be tough on those tactics that were missed out on here and there. And yeah, but I think other than that, I was rather happy. Please check out the French file, because a lot of your French games are going south. The winner, and that's a tough line, by the way, so I'm thinking about some adjustments there. But yeah, for the time being, try to familiarize yourself with them, so that yeah, hopefully it will work out.
If I go through more of my winner games as white, and I'm finding things that aren't covered in the opening files, then I'll send you a mail.
That's perfectly fine. That's totally okay. There will be a lot of things that are not covered yet, because I haven't sent you the lot. Because that will depress you a lot.
Yep.
So I'm trying to get away with the bare minimum so that you don't get disheartened and discouraged.
Yep.
Alrighty, Dominic, thanks a lot. I shall catch you in a
Likewise,
week, yeah?
thanks, Andras. Okay,
Alrighty,
sounds
I
good.
will see you then.
Catch you
Thanks, mate. See ya.
Cheers. Okay, thanks. Bye.